Welcome to another episode of Daily Draft Logs. My name's Al Rowe. Let's jump into it. This is a Kaldheim Traditional Draft. The deck went 2-1. Let's see what we did here. Unfortunately, Arena is not saving first picks, so all we get to do is see what we chose, which is a card that I would probably pick over most commons and uncommons. Bloodsky Massacre, Black-Red Saga here. This is a great reason to be Black-Red Aggro, which is a deck that I liked a lot early on. I still think is pretty sweet. And this lets you draw multiple cards if you have multiple Berserkers for the second chapter. So really, really nice rare to start with here. We're going to be trying pretty hard to play this. All right, pick 2, we see an Agar the Freezing Flame. So we could just take this here and hedge between red-black and red-blue, which is one of the better archetypes and one of the more supported archetypes at common. So I think I'd be looking to just pick up Agar here. There is also a Feed the Serpent if we really want to go hard into black-red. And I think this early in the format, this was fairly early on in the format, I would probably just lean towards good removal. But Feed is just a little bit worse than it looks. I think for some of us limited junkies, we see 4 mana kill anything, and we're just like, whoa, this is gonna be amazing. But it's 4 mana is a lot, double black's a lot. Black is not the strongest color at common, but when you have a great rare like this, I think it's totally reasonable to grab Feed. But if this was pick one pack one, I would be taking Agar. Okay, we took Feed, makes sense. All right, pick 3. Not a ton of great stuff going on here. Not interested in taking these uncommon lands early. You really need to be committed to their color pair for them to work out. So I'm not looking at that. No good red here. We could take Immersturm Raider as just a 2-drop. It is a Berserker, which is nice for Bloodsky Massacre, and that is meaningful. But you could do better at 2 mana. But also I can never fault anybody for just taking a 2-drop and trying to get on board and beat down your opponent, because just having a lot of 2-drops in your deck, you're going to get a lot of free wins where your opponent stumbles on mana, or they draw the wrong color of mana, or they just don't draw anything they can play until turn 4, and got them down to 12 or 10, and just being ahead on board and limited is so important. All that being said, I think the best card in this pack for us is Jarl of the Forsaken. This pack is pretty weak, but having a card with Foretell that can come down and kill something big is pretty great. So that's the card I would take here. We took the 2-drop. Hey, can't argue with that. I can't argue with that, and I would have taken Jarl if it was today, but we didn't know the format as well, so I just saw a 2-drop Berserker. All right, sweet. Also, this card's decent late. I mean, you can discard an excess land on turn 5 or 6 if you're hyper aggro and just try to find more stuff to do. So I don't hate it. Okay, another Hailstorm Valkyrie. If you watched the previous episode, this card is not very good unless you have a ton of snow lands, so I'm not looking to pick it up here. Nothing good in black or red, unfortunately, so we're turning our eyes to a different color here. I think I would take Sarulf's Packmate out of this pack. It's the best green common, might be the best common in the set. Drawing extra cards is extremely good in this format. Foretell makes it super flexible, so you can foretell it on turn 2, play it on turn 3. Maybe you missed your 3rd land drop, all you have is 2 lands in play, you play this, it's a 3/3, you get to find your next land. This card is super, super good, so I think I would take it here, see if we wheel the Snow Forest or the Path or something, and then if we do, we can go multicolor green. If we don't, we can just try to be a solid green-black kind of mid-range deck, or maybe a green-red aggro deck, or maybe we, take this and don't play it, right? And we just go back to trying to play Bloodsky Massacre, which is probably the most likely scenario. Okay, we took Hailstorm Valkyrie. Again, not a card I'd be interested in today, but this was day 1 of the format, so what are you going to do? Right, and this is another unexciting pack here. If we'd taken Packmate, that wouldn't really change anything. We could take a Snow Forest, I guess, and see if we want to start doing that, but our pool is already leaning heavy aggro, and Bloodsky Massacre is a very good card, so I think we want to stick to that if we can, which means we're taking either Teskari Firewalker or Breakneck Berserker. I think of the two, Teskari Firewalker is a little bit better. It doesn't have haste, but oftentimes you're going to be able to boast it, and it's going to replace itself, and if you're playing with combat tricks like Run Amok or Demonic Gifts, Your opponent's going to feel pretty forced to block this most of the time. And it might just straight up trade for a 3-2 of theirs and, get you a card back. Or, they block it with their 4-4 and you run amok them and now you're really doing it. So that'd be the pick here for us. And it's a Berserker, which is meaningful for the types, and that is what we took. Next pick, I like Way Down out of this pack. It's not too hard to get a creature into your graveyard, especially when you're playing a lot of 2-drops and attacking them early. There's going to be some trading happening. With a card like Immerstrom Raider in our pile, we could discard like a 5-drop creature early that we're not really going to be able to play. Maybe get it back later with Raise the Draugr, or maybe just use it to kill one of their creatures. So I'd be on Way Down here. I could also see an argument for Jarl of the Forsaken. Grim Draugr, not as much. Without snow mana, even with snow mana, this isn't that good. The Berserker type, yes, it does matter for Bloodsky Massacre, but not enough that I'm taking it over, good removal and cheap removal at that. So I'd be on Way Down here. Okay, we took the Draugr, so we're trying to force Berserkers. I don't think I would do that nowadays, but there you go. Okay, Demonic Gifts. We're pretty excited to see that, given that we have Teskari Firewalker. We have Bloodsky Massacre that wants us to attack with a bunch of Berserkers on the second chapter, which means, we get to draw 2-3 cards, hopefully. But we're going to have to make some attacks that aren't favorable, which means our opponent's going to have some good blocks on us, and they're probably going to feel pressured to block because we're going to be, pressuring them pretty hard with our creatures. So, attacking with 3 Berserkers, drawing 3 cards, one of them being Demonic Gifts, and then getting to blow out your opponent on blocks is really, really nice. So I really like Demonic Gifts here. I do like Tormentor's Helm as well. And that actually could be the more correct pick, since people do not value Demonic Gifts very highly at all. We can see its average pick 11.37. So, and I think this card is a little bit better than that. But anyhow, I like Demonic Gifts here, and we took it. So there we go. All right, and the last unseen pick of this pack. These are the cards that nobody else at the table wanted. For us, we just get to pick up a Jarl. I don't think we want to take a Snow Mountain with... The problem with Hailstorm Valkyrie is, what are we going to do? Start taking Snowlands and hope we get to 8? It doesn't make any sense to me. So I just don't think you could take this early. You have to take the Snowlands first, and then be wheeling this and picking up later and being excited. So I think we just take Jarl here. Okay, so we fell into a trap here, I think, a little bit with taking the Snow Mountain. We do have the Grim Draugr that cares about it, but again, I don't even think that card's that good. So anyways, let's see what to round out this pack. Wield a Sevella. I didn't even notice this in pick 2. I don't even remember what we took at pick 2, but anyway. Oh, no, sorry. This is our wheel pack. I'm sorry. This is pack 1, pick 1, where we took the rare, which makes sense to me. This is a very, very powerful card, though. So we wheeled it and recognized that. Doubtful we're going to be able to play it, but super good card. And kind of going off the rails a little bit here. I don't like this pick of Icehide Troll that I made. I would take Struggle if I was going to take a green card here, which I would take Struggle because Draugr Recruiter's quite bad. Wheeling Agar is pretty funny too. That wouldn't happen nowadays. But I don't like Icehide Troll with only 1 Snowland. There's no way... I haven't looked at the deck list, but there's no way Icehide Troll and Valkyrie are going to make it in. And even Grim Draugr might not make it. It maybe just because it's a Berserker, but these are picks that are not going to make it into the deck, so just be aware of that. Bunch of nothing. Another Icehide Troll super late, so we're probably sweet, we're going to... But now we're, end of pack 1. I don't think we can dig into Snowlands hard enough to make these work, but we'll see what happens. And we finished off with Broken Wings. Pack 2, pick 1. Our rare Righteous Valkyrie. 3-mana 2/4 flyer is totally fine. Gaining a little bit of life is totally fine. You're probably not going to be at 27 very often, so this card is nothing to write home about, and we're not going to take it because we're pretty firmly in red-black. So I think this pick for us is between Axgard Cavalry and Draugr's Helm. Draugr's Helm being like essentially a 5-mana 4/4 menace. It's a little top heavy for me. I like to keep the curve as low as possible for as long as possible. And given that we have Bloodsky Massacre that wants us to have a lot of early Berserkers in play, I think the clear pick here is Axgard Cavalry as a 2-drop Berserker. Also, we only have one 2-drop creature at this point, so we're going to grab that, I think. And we do. Nice. All right. Next pick. Here we go. We can take another Valkyrie and waste our pick if we want. There's not much else happening in this pack, though. Rare. 3-mana, 2/3 Flying Vigilance. Again, not great. I think the artifact side is the one that the shield that prevents 1 damage, which is super powerful. So you're playing this as the artifact, I think, more often than not. But again, we're not really in white, so we're not looking at it. I think I'm on Dwarven Reinforcements here. It's just a way to get 2 Berserkers in play and draw extra cards with Bloodsky Massacre. Okay, so again, took the Snow Mountain, where we could have had a good playable for our deck that would have for sure made our deck. Obviously, we can just play Snow Mountain in our deck. Like, that's fine, but we're starting to go down this path where, you know, we're taking cards that we can't support, these snow cards, and you know, missing out on totally reasonable picks that go with the most sort of streamlined plan we could have with this deck, which is, let's just make Bloodsky Massacre the best it can be and beat down. So I think we should have taken the reinforcements here. All right. Whoops. I meant to turn that off. So we picked up Run Amok in this pack, which I really like. I think Run Amok is one of the best reasons to be aggressive red. We've got Tuscary Firewalker that boasts. We've got a Grim Draugr that's going to have Menace some of the time, which means opponents might be double blocking it, which means you're just getting a straight up 2-for-1 with Run Amok, which can be real nice. Also, this sets us up to take, like, you know, more boast creatures like Firewalkers, Fearless Liberator. Maybe we wheel this Pup. Now, we could also take Frenzied Raider as a 2-drop Berserker that likes Boast, but we don't have a ton of Boast to support it yet. So I would be on Run Amok, maybe wheel this guy, see what we took. Okay, we did take Run Amok. Nice. Way to go. Past me. This is an easy Demon Bolt here. Nothing really else to look at. We're not looking at Squash when there's a Demon Bolt in the pack, and there's no black cards. So easy Demon Bolt. Easy 2-drop Berserker to go with our Bloodsky Massacre. And then we run into this pack, which just kind of has nothing for us. So, you know, we might take, like, Open the Omen Path, so we have a chance of playing. Okay, we took Avalanche Caller, which is an excellent card, but we're not going to be able to run it. But that pick doesn't really matter. Okay, so here's another spot where I think we would want to take Tormentor's Helm. This is a card I was not high enough on early. Could see an argument for Fearless Pup. We're a little bit low on creatures. Not interested in taking the Snowland, but we did take it, and so we're missing out on good playables here to try and support this Hailstorm Valkyrie, and it's just too hard to make it work. But all right, pick 8 of this pack. Again, not much for us. We need creatures badly here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think we're playing green, so, you know, because these Ice-Hide Trails are not going to be that good. We don't have enough snow. So, you know, we've got like 5, 6, including Bloodsky Massacre, because it makes it 2-3. So we need creatures badly. So we're going to take Hoggy Mob, and we did. All right, rounding out this pack. Pick up an Agar that we're not going to play, but there's nothing else here. Okay, we did wheel Dwarven Reinforcement, which was very lucky. We're going to play that. Craven Hulk. I could see an argument for Fearless Pup, but we have double Axgard Cavalry. Giving this haste is quite nice. And, I mean, the pups, like, I think there was another one in a later pack, so we can wheel these. They're not very high priorities, so. Grab a Squash, sure, why not? And a bunch of nothing. All right, pack 3. We open a Coma Cosmos Serpent. This card is not beatable, by the way. Never pass this. Of course, we're not in green-blue, so we can't take it. So we're just going to grab a Feed the Serpent here over pretty much nothing else. Pick 2. We still need creatures quite badly. We need Berserkers quite badly. We need 2-drops quite badly. This card is going to do all of those things. Fearless Liberator is what we're going to take here. pretty clear pick. All right, now we have to decide, do we want another Axe Guard Cavalry or do we want Provoke the Trolls? We've got Double Feed the Serpent, so we have 2 4-mana removal spells already. So we don't need Provoke the Trolls, which means we're going to take the 2-drop Berserker. And we do. And another Fearless Liberator for us here. Not much else to consider. Rune of Mortality is cute with Hoggy Mob, but we just need to get on board as early as possible and make Bloodsky Massacre as good as possible and make our removal as good as possible. Having a bunch of creatures out in the first few turns makes removal really good when they're scrambling to play a blocker and you just kill it and swing in for a bunch of damage. So we're going to take Fearless Liberator, and we do. Pick 5. So we get a choice of another Fearless Liberator or a Run Amok. This is pretty close. Fearless Liberator is probably worse than it looks. 3 mana is a lot to boast, but, you know, being a 2-drop is great, and sometimes, you know, you've got nothing to do with your mana on turn 3. You attack into their 3-2. They're like, whatever, I got a block. You tap 3 mana, make a 2-1. That's a pretty good exchange. So I could see taking it here, especially having Bloodsky Massacre, but I really, really like Run Amok, especially having, you know, 2 Liberators already as good boasters and a Firewalker. This card just does so much damage to the opponent and kills their biggest blocker most of the time, so I'd be on Run Amok here. And we did take it. Nice. All right, and here we're probably on Jarl of the Forsaken. Coma's Faithful is kind of a nice little role player, though. You know, even as an aggro deck, like a 3-mana 3/1 lifelink, the life gain matters, because if you're in a racing situation, it can really make it hard for your opponent to beat you in that way. So against other aggro decks, this is pretty powerful. But I think Jarl is the more flexible and just better pick here. We took Coma's Faithful, so kind of close, but I think I would take Jarl, all things considered. Here we'll take another Mob, I think, just because we need creatures. Yep. And wheeling a Run Amok, really, really nice. Triple Run Amok and Demonic Gift. So this deck is gonna bash some people. And rounding out this pack, we pick up another Axe Guard Cavalry. Longbow we're not going to play. And that is going to do it. So here's our final build of the deck. 4 Axe Guard Cavalry, double Liberator, Immersturm Raider. So we've got 7 2-drop creatures, which is going to make Bloodsky Massacre really, really good. We're playing a Seize the Spoils, which looks a little bit weird, but maybe we just didn't get there on creatures. It looks like that was the case. So if we, you know, passed on one of those Snow Mountains for even the Fearless Pup or something, we wouldn't have had to play Seize the Spoils, and we could have been that much more aggressive with these Run Amoks. But great deck anyways. I mean, you know, lots of 2-drops, getting on board, crushing people with Bloodsky Massacre. We've good removal. We've got great combat tricks. So good deck, and it went 2-1. Thanks for watching. If you'd like for me to review one of your draft logs, post it in the comments, or post it in my Discord channel, which there's a link to below, or come say hi to me on Twitch, twitch.tv/alromusic. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.